Hi guys, welcome back or welcome if you're new. My name is Tiana and I'm the maker behind Also Stitched, and this week we have a bit of a challenge. I've decided to challenge myself to see how many plushies can I make in a week because I have market this week. And last week was when I realized that I have 0 small plushies left. Like I had nothing in the category from $15 to $30. I was completely empty because that's what I have sold out at Supernova. And ever since Supernova, I've been only focused on making medium to larger plushies, which is good because I have a great selection and I have already put everything in my Shopify inventory and I'm amazed with how much I have. I'm gonna tell you everything by the end of this video. So I was really surprised with everything that I have made since Supernova. It's been only 7 weeks since Supernova, so it was about the time to start making those boring small mini makes, which I tend to procrastinate because I really don't enjoy making small things, but they are the best sellers. So I decided to do a challenge to see how many smaller makes can I make in a week until my market, which is tomorrow. So stay tuned for my next video, which is gonna be market vlog and market recap, because I'm back to my uni markets, and in the first semester, uni markets were performing excellent. I don't expect the same for this semester just because from the last year's experience, students are a bit more stressed in the semester too and they don't tend to buy a lot. So we'll see if something has changed. I don't know. I have a lot of new makes. I want to offer them variety. I want to surprise them with new things. So who knows? So maybe things will be selling this semester too. I have actually a lot of free patterns to share with you and I'm really excited because those are small makes and sometimes I don't want to pay for patterns, especially for characters, because people tend to make smaller patterns for characters and publish them free, so why pay for those? So I have a lot of small free patterns to share with you, but I also have a couple of remakes because I made some promises to my students and I had to bring some of the plushes that were requested. So I'm gonna start with those. Those are a bit bigger makes. Some of them are bigger makes and some of them are smaller makes, and I honestly don't know what's the count. My goal was to make 50 small plushes in a week. And bear in mind, I don't crochet every day and I don't crochet full day. I prefer knitting. I always say that I do spend at least 4 to 6 hours a day knitting. This year was the first year that I was fully wearing me-made garments, everything that I have knit in the past year, and I'm obsessed. I really want to continue revamping my wardrobe and have fully me-made wardrobe, and I've been enjoying it. I've been wearing a lot of knits and I've been knitting a lot. So on a daily basis, I tend to spend 3 to 4 hours crocheting, sometimes not even that. Last week, I also met with Mel from Hey It's Mel B. I had a wonderful day with her. I met her daughter and that was one day out of crocheting. So I know it's not been full 7 days of me crocheting for this challenge, but I'm really happy with what I achieved and I still don't know the number. I still don't know if I have achieved 50. So I'm gonna have a running counter here for you guys. For me, I will probably have to write everything down here in spreadsheets just so I can keep up with the numbers. So let's start with my remakes of plushes that I have promised to my students. I'm gonna try to remember the pattern designers, but I cannot promise. Everything will be linked down below, and especially with these free patterns from Instagram, I tend to butcher Instagram names. So please forgive me for not saying out loud names. Everything is going to be listed in the description, so feel free to check it out. My first make was Jolteon because I have a student that has requested Jolteon last semester, but I never ended up going on that market because of the weather. I made 2 of them just in case one sells, and then I will have one at the back for her. Last time I made these for her, they both sold at Supernova, which is amazing. So these are just the Backmate Studio little, I call them Chonkimons, even though they're not the original pattern called Chonkimons, but these are such a quick make. I did this one in Milan's in Bernat blanket, and yeah, I sell these for $28. So yeah, this was one of the repeats because that student requested, but also I made her a bigger version. If I remember correctly, I already had a bigger version at that market, but she said that she's collecting mini ones. But in case she changed her mind, I made another one. This one is from Crafted for Comfort. I sold this one also at Supernova and I don't remember what was the price. I think around $55 I was selling these. I don't remember. I would have to check the price, but it really doesn't matter for now. So I made another Jolteon in a bigger size. I love these patterns from Crafted for Comfort just because they are a bit bigger and they are like a good size make. These are done in Hobby Toucan, so chenille yarn 5mm hook, and these are done in Bernat Blanket 6mm hook. So there is a good size difference, and I've been selling this size for around $50-$55 with no problems. So I just wanted her to have an option to choose from. So those are 3 Jolteons. And that one was a bit bigger make, so I decided to make another one, which is Espion, same from Crafted for Comfort. Espion has always been selling. I wish I had time to make Umbreon because anything Umbreon is selling for me, but I just didn't have time. I just wished I had time to make Umbreon, so I just did one Espion. I think she's also around $50-$55. I didn't focus a lot on Pokemons, but I just wanted to have a couple of them that I know that are always selling good. I mean, Jolteon is not the best seller when it comes to Pokemons, but so far, whenever I had him, her, whatever, it sold. So I'm just gonna keep making it just because Jolteon is really a quick Pokemon and it keeps selling. It's easier than this one just because this one is a bit fiddly with all these pieces and long tail. So yeah, I do find Jolteon quite quick make and a good seller. So we have one Espion, and like I said, those are a bit bigger makes, so they took a lot more time than all the other smaller makes that I've tried to boost my numbers to 50. Speaking of Espion, we have a smaller version of Espion. This is back Made Studio, another one. These are pretty quick. I just wanted to stock up on some of my smaller Pokemons that are really selling good, and like I said, Espion is always a good seller. And then we have Snorlax, another Back Made Studio Pokemon. Honestly, Snorlax is the quickest. I wish I have made more, but I just wanted variety. I didn't want to focus on building numbers, like making 5 or 10 of them, because my tables are empty and I need variety. I don't need 10 Snorlax. I need 10 different Pokemons, which I didn't make. I wish I had more time, but at least one Snorlax is here. So yeah, I think I'm selling Snorlax for around 25 just because he's a lot less work than Jolteon and Espion. And then we have 2 Dittos. Again, pattern is by Crafted for Comfort. This is a very quick pattern. This is no sew. You don't have to make those 3 circles on the bottom. It is such a quick make, and Dittos are still selling good for me. I'm selling these at $25 and I have sold out at Supernova. And like I mentioned, customers at this uni are pretty much the same demographic I've been seeing at Supernova, so I know these things are very popular. So yeah, 2 for now. I'm really happy with just having 2 because, like I said, I needed variety. I'm really excited to see if I'm gonna get to 50. I'm just writing them down here in my spreadsheets, and I have running total, and we are at 8, as you can also see. So yeah, I'm curious to see, did I manage this? I honestly don't think. Just looking at what I have here in the bags next to me, I don't feel like that is 50 plushies, but we'll see. Then we have one random chicken. I made this chicken while we were driving somewhere. I was traveling with my family. So in the car, this is all I managed to make. And I wish I had brought off-white and more speckled yarn because those are my bestseller chickens. I don't know why I grabbed blue, but it's okay. Blue chickens are still selling. Stardew Valley fans do love blue chickens, and honestly, so many times I have had people buying blue chickens without even knowing what is Stardew Valley. They just like the colors. So I have one blue chicken. I forgot how much I sell them. Is it 22 or 25? Something like that. I think it could be 25. And these are done in Bernat Blanket, so they are a good size chicken. So yeah, one blue chicken. And another remake plushie. This is a free pattern on Instagram. I'm gonna link this down below. I made 3 Snoms. It was no-brainer to make Snoms. As everyone knows, Snom was my bestseller at Supernova and even at my uni market. So I was really excited to discover that this is a really good seller Pokemon, and I made 3 of the blue ones. These are such a quick make. It's so ridiculous how quick they are. They are completely no-sew, easy to make. So yeah, and a really nice size. I sell this for $25. They're all done in Bernat Blanket yarn, so they are quite big and nice size, and I love them and people love them. I honestly wish that I had more time to make the big snom because I really love the way the big snom looks like. But when I calculated the time that it's gonna take me to make a big one, and just sewing those 12 spikes take a long time, by the time I make one big one, I can make 4 or 5 small ones, and I'm selling small ones for $25, which would be around $100 worth of stock, and the big one I was selling for $80. So when I did the math and calculate which one is worth making, I decided to go with the smaller ones. But definitely I'm gonna try to have at least one big one for the next uni market, because just for the variety. Yeah, I also decided to make a pink version because shiny version of snom is a pink version. I do have a request to make a big pink snom. The girl who bought blue snom from me on Supernova requested a pink. I never promise anything because I don't take commissions, but I do feel like I want to make, now that I have made the smaller ones in a pink, I love how cute they are. So I'm really gonna try to make both blue and pink for my next uni market. I hope I will have time. My uni markets are every 2 weeks, so I don't have a lot of time to play in between markets, and I still need to continue market prepping all of the small things because I didn't make everything that I wanted to have for this market. I'm not happy, I'm not gonna lie. I don't have a lot. I have a good dollar value, but I don't have the variety that I wanted to have. So yeah, for now I only managed to make 2 pink snoms, and I'm really excited to offer these two. They are so cute. Again, speaking of remakes, we have Sleeping Kirby. I think this was, when it comes to numbers, no, it was actually Snom. It was between Snom and Sleeping Kirby, which one was the best seller. I was selling these for $22 at Supernova, and I think I could have easily go with $25. So I did put price up to $25 just because when something is selling so quickly, that is the sign that you should put your prices up. So I decided to go with 25 just to slow down the sales, and I think the 25 is a pretty good price for the size. Usually if the plushie fits into my palm, it is a $25 price for me. Anything bigger than that or complicated, I will think about the price, but yeah, my palm is a sign for me. It is $25 price. I don't have regrets for selling them at $22 because they are such a quick make. These take around 30 minutes to make. Yeah, I have zero regrets, but from now on I have put price up just because. By the way, Sleeping Kirby is not a free pattern on Instagram. It is a paid for pattern on Etsy, and it is by Close Knit Crochet, and it's gonna be linked down below. Okay, we are still in the remake phase because we are still not getting to all the new plushies that I have done. Those new plushies were so exciting, and I'm really looking forward to share all of them because I love making new patterns just because I'm very excited to make them. I made one Perry the Platypus. This is my remake. I am selling Perry the Platypus for $22. If you have watched my Supernova, I forgot to change the price on my tags, so I was selling him technically for $20. Looking into the size, I could easily maybe go to 25, but that is actually pushing it because it is just the chenille yarn. If I were to make him in a bigger yarn, then yes, I would be able to justify 25, but at this point I have 1.5 skein of this yarn, and I'm destashing this yarn using it for Perry the Platypus. Even though I know this is not his color, he should be more greenish, but I'm having a hard time finding the color closest to him. I think I've noticed that Premier Plush has a spearmint color that looks like it could be a good color for Perry the Platypus, but Premier Plush has gone up with the prices. Ever since I have made my yarn haul and video about the Parfait Plush, it is now $18 a skein, which is a lot. And I still have 1.5 skein of this yarn, which will make me 11 more Perry the Platypus. So I have a lot of Perry the Platypus to sell before I can justify buying new yarn in the correct color. And he's selling in this color, even though it is the not correct color. I don't have issues selling with this color. Do you have any other use for this color? Do you have any suggestions where I can use this color maybe? Because I genuinely don't use this color a lot. That's why I have started making Perry the Platypus in it, just to de-stash this color. I could maybe justify buying Parfait Plush if he's gonna be bigger. He's definitely gonna be bigger in Parfait Plush, and then I will be able to justify bumping price to $25 just to keep him in the same $25 range, because I find $25 price the easiest to sell and people really love this size of plushies. So for now he's gonna be 22 as long as he's in this size chenille yarn, unless I can find, I don't know, blanket yarn. I think I'm gonna go with Parfait Plush just because that spearmint color looks perfect for Perry the Platypus. So yeah, I have only one because I was lazy, but yeah, at least one. And also I was lazy to make more of Appa just because Appa is a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie, just making this one Appa takes a lot longer than making any other plushie in this size, and I'm also charging $25 because it is the perfect palm size for me. I only made one just because I do have the bigger version from No Way Jose that we did in a previous video. So these are again $25 for me, and Appa is paid for pattern from Etsy by Abby Jade Art. I do love this pattern, I'm not gonna lie, but it is a lot of work. There is a lot going here in this section. You have a lot of pieces, you have horns, you have frills, you have ears, you have baubles, embroidery, and then this tail plus embroidery. It is a lot on such a small plushie, but I'm just gonna keep making it because it's been selling really good. I think I had 5 of them for Supernova and sold all of them pretty quickly. So yeah, I do see myself making this version more than No Way Jose version, just because that one takes even longer with all of that color change. So yeah, this is just the perfect smaller size for me, and yeah, people love this. And then this is my last repeat make, and it is Luma. She is a free Instagram pattern and she's so quick, so nice, and this is done in chenille yarn, but this is done in the yarn that I have not yet talked on this channel, and I'm gonna review this yarn in a video after my market vlog. I'm really excited to do a review for this yarn because it is new yarn to me and I'm really impressed with this yarn. And also I have another order on my way because I bought all the colors. I'm usually like that. When I like something, I have to have all the colors even though I'm not gonna use them. And there are a couple of colors that I'm not sure if I'm gonna use them, but when I'm making yarn review with a yarn that I'm really impressed with, I really want to showcase all the colors, and this yarn really deserves this. I'm impressed with this yarn, so stay tuned for one of my future videos where I will share more details about new yarn to me. Just another Luma. Luma has been selling really good and it is such a quick, easy pattern to do. I think this is my Universe 64, something like that. If not, of course, it's gonna be linked down below because I cannot remember all the Instagram names. There are so many free patterns and so many names that I cannot even pronounce. But yeah, this one was a very enjoyable make with this new yarn to me, and I love it. This was one random make. I haven't made axolotl for what feels like forever. I think last time I made axolotl was last year, and I was making Crochet Grow axolotls. They are a bit bigger and I'm kind of sick of making them. I wanted something smaller, quicker and cuter, and I have found this free pattern on Instagram, and actually this might not be Instagram, this might be blog. I'm gonna link it down below. I forgot who is it by, but it's gonna be linked. It is on the blog. You will have to watch through those ads, or you can just switch to reading mode to avoid those ads. But yeah, this was really nice make, refreshing compared to how big axolotls from Crochet Grow are. This was really quick and enjoyable make. It is all no sew. You're just surface crocheting frills, and that is it. I do see myself making more of these. I think I'm gonna sell this in around $18. I usually have my $18 basket, but I'm still deciding whether I want to keep that basket or do something different, because I will have a different layout at this uni market because I'm doing only one table. I have decided to move my embroidery vinyl on a separate grid wall, plus I will be having a shelving unit. So I'm just gonna have one table with two sides of my grid cubes. I usually travel with my grid cubes assembled just because I don't like assembling and disassembling. Actually, disassembling is what hurts me more than assembling those grid cubes, and luckily I have big enough car that I can transport grid cubes built. And that's what I've been doing last semester at my uni markets, but I had them very big. This time I'm going smaller. I'm gonna have a different setup, which I'm gonna show you in my next video when the market vlog is gonna be. And yeah, I think this is gonna be an $18 axolotl. Nothing special. I'm not a huge fan of making axolotls, but yeah, I just wanted something for change. I made so far a couple of Miffys and they've been selling, so I decided to make another one. This is again in that new yarn. And there is a reason why I love this new yarn, and it is for keychains. But I'm gonna talk about that when I'm gonna do a review for that yarn and why I love this yarn for keychains. And I talked about this in a previous videos, why I don't recommend chenille yarn for keychains in general, just from the past experience. But we'll get to talk about that in the future videos, so stay tuned for that. So I just made one Miffy. This is gonna be around $18 keychain. So yeah. This is free pattern on Instagram. I already shared this one. It's not my first time making her. But I also did find a different Miffy pattern, which is a bigger pattern. And this is what she is in Hobby Toucan size. It is a bit bigger. This size is usually something I charge around $28, like the Backmate Studio Pokemons. They are bigger. So yeah, this is most likely going to be a $28 plushie for me. This is free pattern on Instagram. It is called Bunny pattern. So yeah, this is just gonna be a cute little Miffy. It comes with like a dress, t-shirt, whatever it is. So I thought this was really cute and I love her. It really looks nice. Oh, and the best part, this is no sew. You're not sewing ears. You're starting from ears and working down the body, so it is completely no sew. At this point, my counter is at 22. If I have put everything correctly in, I hope I didn't skip anything. So at this point, I'm really doubting I have reached 50 plushies in a week, but oh well, we still have a lot to go. A couple of these plushies are again a bigger make. I mean, this is not a huge make, but it took more time than any smaller make. And it is Cookie the Chicken by Alpaca Patterns. I just couldn't resist this chicken. This is such a cute pattern. Chickens have been selling really good for me and I just couldn't resist this chicken. Look at this tail. It was such a beautiful and fun pattern. This is done in Hobby Toucan and then the apron is done in cotton, hobby cotton. This is almost no sew. The only thing you're sewing on is the beak. Just the beak. Feet are crocheted in, arms are crocheted in, tail, you do surface crochet, comb, but the only thing that you are sewing on is the beak. I don't know, there is something so cute about her. I just love how the bum is shaped. I love the tail. I love everything about this pattern. It is the cutest chicken I have ever seen and I just couldn't resist it. It is so beautiful. I do see myself making more of these chickens in different colors with different aprons. It is the cutest. I love her. I don't remember what was the price that I put on her. Let me double check my Shopify. I called her Granny Chicken because it is the cutest name. I've put $38 on her, which I think it is a fair price because chickens are a really good seller and this one is definitely a special one. This one deserves to have a good price on her because this is not something that I'm gonna pump every week 5 of them. This is gonna be a specialty chicken that I will gonna have 1 or 2 at a time. It takes a bit more time, of course, because you do have to crochet all of these pieces. You do have apron, but I just love it. It is so cute and I do see myself making more of her just for how cute she is. So this was a paid for pattern from Etsy by Alpaca Patterns. I definitely recommend. She's releasing this granny style series. I think she is releasing lamb wearing, I don't know what is it wearing, something like a cardigan or something like that. And there is another animal already released. Oh, it's a goose with a bonnet. I'm not a huge fan of goose with bonnets, so that's why I didn't buy that one, but that lamb looks cute. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do lamb, but I just love chickens. I don't know, there's something about the chickens, and chickens have been selling so good, and yeah, I 100% recommend this pattern. It is so cute. It is just a special chicken, and look at the back. I just love her. I'll probably make one with the green apron. I have so much of this cotton from Hobby. It is ridiculous. I actually made myself a t-shirt and my daughter a long sleeve sweater from this yarn, and I still have so much more. Some of these bigger patterns were more time consuming, so at this point I don't think I have reached the 50 plushie mark, but oh well. Let's continue. I have a lot more to share. Alright, so this was a new pattern release from Crochet by Sammy, and of course I had to make Neil the Seal. Neil the Seal has been trending very much lately, and so if you don't know, Neil the Seal is from Australia and he's from the same town as Sammy from Crochet by Sammy. I'm sure everyone is watching her famous market videos from Salamanca markets are really excellent markets. So what Sammy and Neil the Seal have in common is they are both from Hobart, Tasmania. Tasmania is the smallest state in Australia, and yeah, Neil the Seal kind of went viral on not just TikTok, even the news and everywhere. I saw Sammy doing a pattern test for this pattern and I was patiently waiting for her to release it, and I knew I'm gonna have it because it is the cutest make. And what I love about Sammy, she is designing patterns for Modavira blanket yarn because that's what she uses mostly. So I knew that he would be a great size plushie. I didn't use Modavira blanket yarn, I used Bernat blanket yarn just because it is a bit softer on my hands, and this is done in Hobby Toucan. So yeah, it is just the cutest, and I think I've put around $30 price on him. I'm not sure is that too much or not, but he is a bigger plushie, plus you're making a cone which comes as a second plushie. He is, I'm trying to remember, I think he is a no-sew pattern. The only thing you're doing is tucking this tail to his body, which is an optional. You don't have to do it, but it is an optional, and I find him cute. I find him very good written pattern. It's nice and chubby and chunky and small at the same time. So yeah, I love this pattern and I definitely recommend it. So this is also a paid for pattern from Etsy by Crochet by Sammy. Alright, so my next pattern is, actually, I have two variations of this pattern, but both are free on Instagram, and I have Grogu. So I have big version. Usually when I'm making plushies, I'm trying to have them as, like I said, my $25 plushie or to make a keychain. And here is my keychain version of Grogu. He is very tiny, and these are both done in that new yarn, which is the perfect color for Grogu. I'm gonna talk about the colors and shades in that video once I reveal the yarn, but it is just the perfect shades for Grogu. I'm gonna continue making this definitely because it is the perfect size, but this is a bit too small for a keychain for me. This would be a $15 at the moment, but I have decided I'm gonna make this one in Elise Velluto just to get it a bit bigger, and then maybe I can charge $18 to $20 because that's how much some of my bigger keychains are, between $18 and $20. So these are all your sewing ears. I'm trying to remember, I think you're surface crocheting these ears, but these ears were sewn on, which is really not a big issue because there are only 2 ears and this yarn is really good for sewing. So I had zero problems with sewing these ears and I just love them. I love both of these patterns for Grogu. They are both free patterns. One is chubby plushie version and the other one is small keychain version. You can decide which yarn you wanna use and it will depend on the size. These are all done in a chenille yarn and 5mm hook. If you were to make them in blanket yarn, obviously they will be bigger, but yeah, I prefer this size so that I can charge them around $25, which is a perfect spot for me for these smaller makes. So I have 2 bigger Grogus and 1 mini one. Alright, so next one we have a free pattern on Instagram and it is Patrick the Star. As you can tell, I did it again in a plushie version and in a keychain version. Plushie version is done in Bernat blanket yarn and 6mm hook, and the keychain version is done in the new yarn to me and 5mm hook. I didn't go crazy with the keychain version because at the time I didn't have pink, so he is done in a bit lavender color, which is not his natural color. He should be pink, but I was impatient. I'm still waiting for my pink yarn to arrive so I can make more of this. But I loved this pattern. This is completely no sew. Eyes are so cute. I really love how eyes look in this pattern. They are so quick and easy. You don't have to fiddle with any felt or anything like that, which if you watch my last video, how long have I procrastinated to make those felt eyes? I really tend to procrastinate with felt eyes. I was so in love when I saw this pattern with these eyes, and this is her new pattern. Let me double check. This is a new release pattern from Cuteville Toys on Instagram, and it is a free pattern. I have already seen her SpongeBob and I did make him. I'm gonna show him in a second. And when I saw that she has released Patrick the Star, I knew I want to have them both, and they are such a beautiful makes. This is so quick that I cannot even explain. This is completely no sew. Eyes are just the bubbles, and you do some embroidery for his flowers on his pants, and that is it. It is such a beautiful make, and this is perfect palm size again for me, $25. And this is a bit bigger for keychain, but I don't mind it. This is gonna be $20 keychain for me, or backpack body, bag charm, whatever you want to call them. I don't even know if I'm gonna market them as keychains or maybe bag charms, because these are a bit bigger, since I do still have my embroidered keychains. I think I'm gonna market those as keychains and these more like bag charms. But yeah, it is just the cutest. So this is chenille yarn and 5mm hook, and Bernat blanket with 6mm hook. Definitely want to make more of these. I just didn't have time, and like I said, I'm waiting on pink yarn to make more of the keychain versions. And like I already mentioned, I went crazy with SpongeBob because he is so cute and he was the quickest make. I'm gonna start with the first one I made, which was in Hobby Toucan, because I wasn't sure of the size and I wanted to test the size of him in chenille yarn and 5mm hook. So this is the Hobby Toucan version, and I didn't put a keychain on him just because I do not recommend putting keychains on chenille yarn, especially not Hobby Toucan or Parfait Chunky. From my past experience, this yarn will break on kids, and especially if this is a bag charm and dangling on their bags whole day, every day in school. I'm talking about my kid who is a teenager and she's very rough with her bag. Even though she has a laptop in her bag, she's still throwing her bag all over the place, and a chenille plushie on a metal part broke on her. So I just cannot sell things like that knowing it's gonna break on kids, because I don't want people coming back at me for things breaking. I know there is not a big chance of people coming back at me, but I'm doing uni markets for the 5th year, and most of the time I have a lot of returning students, and I just don't want to have them coming back and saying me that plushies have broke on them. I would rather make sure that it is better quality, either chenille yarn or just do it in blanket yarn. That's why all my keychains I have been doing only in blanket yarn, because it's not gonna break. Chenille yarn is gonna break with the friction of the metal over time and the rough play with bags, what kids usually do. So this is just gonna be my smaller plushie in the, I don't know, like $20 bin, just a quick smaller one. But then I made a bigger version in Parfait Plush. I actually made 2 bigger versions in Parfait Plush because I have realized that colors that I have in Parfait Plush are exactly the 4 colors that I have used for SpongeBob. And I was really happy that I can just destash Parfait Plush in this plushie, and I'm gonna charge $25 for him. And even though Parfait Plush was very expensive, it's still worth, because I'm getting a lot of money for such a small plushie. Just the size comparison between Hobby Toucan 5mm and Parfait Plush and 6mm hook. I'm gonna continue making this. This is one and done. So I have 3 plushie versions. Like I mentioned, the new yarn that I've been testing and I plan on reviewing is the perfect yarn for keychains, because this yarn is built differently. It is a chenille yarn, but it is very sturdy and hard to break chenille yarn. It feels almost like a blanket yarn, and I'm positive that this is not gonna break on kids or students while they are shuffling their bags around. The keychains I normally use are just these clip-on keychains. They are off AliExpress. I'm sure you can get them on Amazon. On this part it is just the lobster clasp, and here it is like a necklace thing, which is so quick and easy to remove, clip on and clip off, because I want to give people an option to have this as a keychain or just remove it if they don't want it as a keychain. I have zero doubts that this yarn is gonna break on kids, just because I did a couple of tests, and I'm gonna talk about that in that future video. But I have 3 of SpongeBob keychains. They're all made in keychains, and I'm in love with this yarn. I went back and bought all the colors just because I want to make keychains in this specific yarn brand. At first I didn't go crazy with the colors because I thought I'm just gonna buy colors that I'm missing from Hobby Toucan that I have ran off, and then I will slowly replace Hobby Toucan with this yarn. But then I realized that this is completely different yarn, and then I can make keychains out of this yarn, which I couldn't do from Hobby Toucan just because it will break. Same as Parfait Chunky. But this yarn is completely different, and I'm really happy. So I went online and placed an order for all the other colors that I didn't buy at the first place, and I'm just waiting for them to arrive so that I can start making more keychains, because I'm really excited about this yarn. I love it, and I can't wait to share it with you. We have 6 of SpongeBob. I love this pattern so much. It was such a beautiful make, and I can't recommend it more. It is a free pattern on Instagram. Let me show you how cute they look next to each other. So these are gonna be my plush versions. This is Bernette Blanket. He's a bit more bigger than the Parfait Plush, but I still think they're cute together. And these are the keychain versions done in the same yarn, just the perfect size. This is gonna be $20 bag charm, and those other ones are gonna be $25 plushies. So that is 6 SpongeBobs, and we are only at 35. At this point, I can tell I have not reached my goal of 50 plushies in a week. We still have a couple of more to share, but I can see the end of the basket, so I already know I didn't reach the 50 goal, but it's okay. 35 at this point, it's really good, and I'm really happy with this. Everything else that I'm left with, I was heavily inspired by Kayla from The Girl Who Knots. I saw her prepping for the geek convention, and she was making a lot of drift looms, and I just couldn't resist, and I decided to make for markets. And I did this as a keychain or bag charms, and I'm gonna talk about these things in a second. I want to talk about the pattern. Kayla actually, I think, did the Crafted for Comfort pattern, which is a paid for pattern on Etsy, and I was thinking of doing that one, but that one has beads on the bottom, and I didn't have beads at the time, and I needed something to make these hearts, because Drift Loom has a hearts on the bottom. They are upside down hearts. In case you don't know, this is a Pokemon. I'm not sure, I just went into it as everyone knows what a Drift Loom is. No, it is just a Pokemon that's been trending because of the Pokopia game at the moment. That's why I didn't want to go with Crafted for Comfort pattern. I just went online and searched for a free pattern. Like I said, when it comes to characters, most of the time you will find free patterns on Instagram. Most of the time designers decide to publish character patterns for free just to avoid any copyright problems. So I did find 2 versions of free patterns. I'm gonna actually link them both down below in case you wanna check both of them. One is smaller version and the other one is bigger. This is the smaller, but this one is done in Elise Velluto, so it is a bit bigger. Like, it is a good size plushie. I think I'm gonna make him in the new yarn that I've been talking about and keeping secret, because it's gonna be a perfect keychain size or bag charm. This is a bit bigger and chunkier, but it is a good pattern because the purple part is the easiest part. Completely no sew, done in one piece, easy peasy. Then you're doing the cloud part and just sewing it on. Nothing hard about it. What makes it hard are the hearts. And honestly, after making 4 of them, I'm done with hearts. I don't want to make heart shape anymore. I don't want to see heart anymore. You know why? Because for 4 drift looms, you are making 16 hearts. 16! That is just too much. Let me explain why. Let me put 3 of them down so that I can explain why. I mean, it is a good pattern. It is a good idea because it is clean and neat. Because this is just a string of cotton yarn, and then to make it nice and neat, you need to hide that string inside the heart. And for this one heart, you are making two halves. You're making front and back. And then you are tying the cotton thread inside one of the hearts, and then you are sewing the second half of the heart on top of the first one. And that is the clean and neat way for you to hide the knot of this cotton thread. Otherwise it would be not as neat, it wouldn't be nice. And if I were to do one drift loom, that would be fine, but before I knew how I'm gonna do hearts, I already had completed 4 drift looms, and then I realized I need 16 hearts, and I was broken. I was heartbroken with all of these hearts, and I've decided I will never do this again. I'm gonna be honest, I love the pattern, I love everything about this free pattern, but I will never do this again. I went on AliExpress and ordered hearts. Hearts are already on my way. It's just gonna be a yellow bead heart that I'm gonna tie on the bottom, and that's it. So in the end, if you want to go with the free pattern, go for it, or just check Crafted for Comfort pattern, where she is actually using those beads as a hanging thing on these drift looms. It was a lot. I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot. I'm definitely not making hearts anytime soon, but all in all, just crocheting portion of this plushie, it was quick and easy, straightforward. The only sewing you are doing is cloud on top. I don't know if the pattern from Crafted for Comfort is maybe completely no sew. I'm not sure. I don't remember what Kayla mentioned about that pattern, but feel free to check that one out. I'm just giving you an option for a free version. And the second free version is just the bigger version of this one. Nothing special. They're pretty much the same. You're just making balloon shape plushie. And like I mentioned, I did 4 of them, and I was kind of testing the new hardware that I got from AliExpress. I'm just gonna show you each one up close. I'm gonna be honest, this is very beautiful and expensive looking like hardware, and I actually ordered more just because I love it. But it is not the easiest one to put on. Like I mentioned, I love my hardware to be removable just because I want to give that option to my customers. And you can see here, customer can completely remove this. It is not an easy way to remove, but it is possible. I love this gunmetal one, which is like a black shiny version, but I don't love the oval shape of this one. This was one option that I have ordered. I honestly don't know the name for this hardware. I was asked on one of my previous video what hardware am I using, and to be honest, just search in Amazon like keychain hardware or AliExpress. Honestly, anything that is on Amazon is everything that you can buy on AliExpress with maybe triple the prices. That's why I buy things on AliExpress. It arrives here in Australia pretty quickly, in only a week. So yeah, for this type of hardwares, I'm okay to buy them from AliExpress. This one is my favorite when it comes to the shape because it is circle with circle. I just prefer this one as a shape, but I don't prefer the gold metal because, as you can see, this one has already tarnished and it's not looking nice, and it has that brass smell which I really don't like. And then your fingers are smelling as a brass. I really don't like brass smell, and I don't know. It's not my favorite. It's my favorite shape, but not my favorite material that was used. And then for this one is a bit bigger. This one is very easier for customer to put on, but it wasn't easy for me to put on the plushie because it comes with 2 of these oval shape ones. I'm gonna remove one. I'm showing you them both because that's what they came with. It comes with 2 of the oval shapes, but for the customers, I'm just gonna remove one. Let me remove one so I can show you. It's really hard to, those oval shapes one are really hard to remove, and I'm still struggling. Oh wow, this is gonna be 3 hours later. I can't remove it. Imagine how hard it was for me to put it into the plushie. Okay, so here's the bit that I have removed. I'm not gonna leave it on just because it's gonna be easier, and here is what it looks like. So I think, if I remember correctly, I did place my second order. I think I've ordered them all in this shape, but I didn't order gold one just because of that smell. I ordered silver and gunmetal because I love the gunmetal look. These are really nice quality. You can see how thick and shiny these are. I really love the quality, and I love that they are removable, just because, I don't know, I prefer the option to have them removed, even just for me, not just for customers, in case I change my mind and say, oh, I don't want to sell this as a bag charm, let's just put them as a plushie. I want to have a quick and easy option to remove it, even though this one wasn't quick, so oh well. But that's it. I have 4 drift looms. These are gonna be a tangled mess by the time I get to the market, but I love them. They were really quick, except for hearts. Never again. I will show you my beads when they arrive. They should be here next week. So for the next market prep, I'm gonna show you the beads, and I just hope it's gonna be as easy to tie the knot on the beads and for them not to unravel and stay secure. We'll see. I'm gonna update you when the beads are here. That's it. 4 drift looms. Alright, we are at 39, as I can tell, and we have only 3 plushies left. So I guess I didn't achieve my goal of making 15 this week, but I'm really happy with what I have done. Like I mentioned with last 2 makes, I was inspired by Kayla from The Girl Who Knots, and one of them is grub. I've seen her making these grubs, and since I made both the Knight and Hornet, I decided I'm just gonna offer grubs because it's gonna be a nice cute selection with the Hollow Knight inspired game. And I went with Bernat Blanket because that's what I have. You saw me unboxing this color in one of my previous videos. This is a lemony lime color by Bernat Blanket, and they're off-white. So when I made this first one, I went to my son because he's the one who's playing this game. Actually, my husband is playing this game too. And I asked him, do you know what is this? And he was like, you know how teenagers like, grub. I'm like, okay. And then he immediately proceeds to say, but no one's gonna know what is that. Why are you making grubs? I'm like, but you knew. But I'm playing the game, so I know. I'm like, you're not the only person playing the game. Whoever is playing the game, will it recognize as a grub from the Hollow Knight? Yes, it will. So I was like, fine, thanks. But then he said that it's not the correct color. And I'm like, look, I didn't have options. When it comes to Bernat Blanket, I wanted the Bernat Blanket size just so I can get him to at least $25 plushie. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go 25 or 28. I forgot what I put in. He said the colors are wrong, that he has a green belly. And then I asked him to help me make a keychain because I knew I wanted to have it as a keychain. And he said to put green belly and the yellow nose. Because when I went online and searched the photos for the grub, I didn't know which ones were original photos, which one were recreations from some other artist. And then he showed me which are the original photos and said that his body is darker green, tummy is light green, and that the nose, I mean, this is called the nose in the pattern. I'm not sure if that is nose, snout, mouth, whatnot. I don't know. And that one should be like off white yellowish. And in this new yarn I have the perfect colors. I had light green, dark green, and yellow. This is actually not off-white, this is very light yellow, and it is just the perfect keychain. Look at him, just the perfect size. I made 2 of these keychains and I only have 1 plushie version. I didn't want to go crazy with the plushie version just because I wasn't sure of the colors. I know this is very neon green color and I'm not sure how people are gonna react to this color when this is what it looks better in the real life. So I don't know, we'll see. I have 1 plushie version and 2 keychain versions. Again, Bernat Blanket 6mm hook, chenille yarn 5mm hook, perfect plushie version and perfect keychain or bag charm version. So those are my last 3 plushies. Those are actually, I forgot to mention, this is free pattern on Instagram. It's gonna be linked down below. If you have watched Kayla, you probably already know about this guy, and it is such a quick make. The only part that you're sewing is this nose part, which I think I did the best job here. This is what he should look like, and I love it. It is such a quick make, easy peasy, and I love it. And I love this yarn. I can't wait to share this yarn with you guys. All right, so we have 3 grubs, and that brings the total to 42 plushies. Wah, wah, wah. I guess I didn't succeed in this challenge. I tried, I did my best. This was actually a week challenge, but like I said, I had one day off because I was meeting Mel from Hey It's Mel B here on YouTube channel. I'm sure you know about her, so if not, feel free to check her out. She is such an amazing person and I had a wonderful time with her. I got to meet her daughter and I also knit a baby bear bonnet. I think I shared in one of my previous videos that I was knitting a baby bear bonnet for her and she was the cutest. She looked so cute with that bonnet. So yeah, I actually didn't have a full week of crochet and like I said, I'm knitting more than I'm crocheting, but I'm really happy with this. 42 mini plushies in a week is an excellent for me because these things I tend to procrastinate a lot. I don't enjoy making small things. I enjoyed making the chicken. Chicken was a bit bigger and all of those bigger Pokemons, those are the plushies that give me more joy than all of these smaller makes just because they are very tedious. But I'm really happy having 42 in 1 week and I have a lot of stock to offer. I'm really happy. And let me just tell you the numbers. Since tomorrow is my market, I have spent yesterday putting everything into my inventory just so I'm prepared for it, and I have ended up supernova with 2,700, 800, something like that Australian dollar value of plushies, and at the moment I'm at 5,800. I have doubled up what I have left after supernova in only 7 weeks. It is the first week of August. My markets are starting. $5,800 worth of stock is pretty good and I'm happy about that. I just need to keep up with this because these markets can be really good. Last semester I was selling between $700 and $1,000 each market. Second semester is usually very slow, and from the last year experience, a couple of markets were barely $100. That's how slow second semester markets can be. I'm not expecting a lot, but I'm still want to be prepared and have a lot to offer. I'm gonna have quite a few markets if the weather is nice. Luckily tomorrow it's gonna be dry. That's all it matters. Dry weather. It's gonna be freezing cold, but I'm gonna layer up. I'm gonna have my knits to keep me warm, and I'm looking forward to share my first market vlog with you in the next video, so stay tuned for that. Guys, I know I said I'm gonna try and do 2 videos a week, but I don't think I will be able to sustain with that. It is not just that I cannot crochet for 2 videos, it is more the pressure of me of doing it. I don't like to be pressured because that's when my anxiety kicks. Editing 2 videos a week is a lot. I'm not gonna lie, I have spent last 2 weeks editing every day for 2 or 3 hours, which is also cutting in my crochet and knitting time, and I'm not happy about that. I don't mind editing, but I don't enjoy taking time off my crochet and knitting. So I think I will be back to only doing 1 video a week. Luckily, I still have some leftover of videos pre-filmed so that I'm ahead of a time. You are still watching my videos a couple of weeks behind. I'm happy to have those because there will be a moment in life when things happen and I won't be able to crochet or film, but at least I will have a backlog of videos so that I don't have to stress about publishing at least 1 video a week. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed all of this abundance of free patterns and as much as I enjoyed making them. I hope I have inspired you to make some of these, and I'm curious, was any of these patterns a new discovery for you and which one will you be making? Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy crafting!